What's up, everybody? It's AJ with etrailer.com. Today we're going to be checking out the Thule T2 Pro XTR on our 2017 Toyota RAV4. This is going to be a platform-style bike rack that holds 4 bikes, and it's going to hold the bikes by the tire, so that's what makes it unique. I like these better because some other ones, the platform-style racks, have the mast in the center and have the hook down on the frame, and that's going to make frame contact, and when frame contact's involved, you don't want to do carbon fiber bikes or alternative frame bikes are just hard to get that hook to go down on right, especially when you're doing multiple bikes. You can never seem to get it lined up right. It holding it by the tire makes it more acceptable for a bunch of different style bikes. Both those would be just fine on here because it's using the tire and not the frame. So you have the hook up front, then we have the wheel strap on the back side. Really easy to undo that and pull it tight. I like that it makes a noise as you do that, so you can hear you're getting one more notch out of it to get it nice and tight. You even got a padding here to protect the inside of your wheel. That way it doesn't scratch it up. Also, over here on the hook here for the wheel, you have a cable lock built in. I really like that aspect too. So that way you can bring it around the frame and attach it to itself. Just like that, you'd lock it up, and each one of these has a built-in cable lock, so that's nice. You can lock up each one of your bikes so that nobody can mess with them. So another thing before I take this bike off is one of the features is it can tilt away from the vehicle with the bikes loaded up there. Now if you have all 4 bikes on there, it's going to be a little bit heavier, so I would be careful. But here, it's not going to touch the ground. When we did it with 4, it hit the ground. So just be careful. I'm going to come down to here. It stops right before the ground, and you can see that you can access the back hatch of your RAV4 pretty easily. See, you can get in here and get a cooler or something, or if you forgot to put something in there and you have it fully loaded, you don't have to take every bike off just to get to the back of your vehicle. And then it's real easy just to lift it back up and let it snap into place. Another thing I want to point out that I like about this one is that the handle here is on the back. So there's like the Kuat NV 2.0. It has a handle, but it's up here towards the front onto the side. And you can kind of see how inconvenient that is to get there if there had 4 bikes on there just to lower it. So I like that the handle's back here. Even though it does touch the ground with 4 bikes, you just have to be careful. It's easier access. It makes it and keeps it a 1-person job instead of 2 people. Let's go ahead and remove the bike so we can take a closer look at the cradles. Just going to do the back wheel strap first. Comes out that easily. And then you come up here by the wheel hook, pull the trigger here, you slide it up, and it goes off to the side. Very easy to use. And then I'm just going to come here between the vehicle and the bike to lift it up and off. Now, we can put this back into place in just a second, but I want to focus on the cradles first. So this is the back wheel cradle, and it slides very easily back and forth. And that's going to be good for accommodating different wheelbases on bikes, so you can easily move this around. You don't have to throw a latch to move it or move screws. This is super easy to get moved in the right place for whatever bike you're going to put on there. Then we have the other cradle here that's on the front, and you can see it's got the groove here in the center for a road bike tire. It gets a little bit bigger for the mountain bike tire, and then the whole thing can hold a fat tire bike too. That's another nice thing about the back wheel cradle. It's already got a long enough strap for the fat tire bike, and that's not common on bike racks, so I like that it's included so you can just throw your bike on there and good to go. You don't have to get an extra accessory. When you're not using this, you just slide it up. And I like to put it right there by the wheel thing, by the wheel cradle, sorry, to keep it in place. Now, let's go ahead and get some measurements. First up, we're going to do ground clearance. Your hitch is kind of low on the RAV4, but there is a little bit of rise in the bike rack itself. So we're going to go from the ground to right about here. Seems to be the lowest point. If I can get that right on target. Seems about 22 inches from the ground. So keep that in mind when you're going up steep hills or driveways, but you do have enough rise. I don't think you're going to have any issues there. Another thing to get is how far away it is to the vehicle. It's a 4-bike bike rack. It's going to add quite a bit to the back. So let's get that measurement now. Looks like it's about 60 inches from the bumper all the way back out to this handle. So just keep that in mind because it's going to add a lot. So when you're backing up and stuff, just remember it's back there. Your backup camera, you're going to see it anyway, but it's one of those things. It's a lot that's added to the back. You just want to keep that in mind. Now, another thing is you can actually change that, and we can fold it up and take away some of that. So what we're going to do, use the handle again, fold it up, and now let's get that measurement. You can go from the bumper. The furthest out point is going to be about here, it looks like. And that's 18 inches, so that's quite a bit less than it was. So that's nice that you can fold that up and get it up and out of the way. Now, while we're here, let's get that measurement of how close it actually is. It looks like the closest point is probably going to be on the other side here at this wheel cradle. So we'll go from the bumper to that. Looks like it's about 4.5 inches from the bumper, which is plenty of space because this doesn't move towards the bumper at all. You see, I can shake it back and forth. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays right there. Now going back to the bottom, I'm going to show how it installs and it functions. So one of the cool things about it is you got this anti-rattle knob. So you don't need any tools to do this. You just do this to loosen it. You'll see how much movement it is in the hitch right now. If it's a 2-inch by 2-inch hitch, if you look up here, I can shake it back and forth like that, but when I use the anti-rattle knob, I can get it enough to where now there's no movement at all. So that's pretty awesome that you don't have to get a bunch of tools out to make it tighten or even put an anti-rattle bolt in. You can all do it right here very easily. And another thing I want to point out is the stinger up here is real nice because you can put this into place as you're sliding it on. So let's say you put the bike rack on right here. You can put the stinger into place here, and as you shove it in there, it's going to find that hole. As you push it forward, it'll click into place. So again, you don't have to keep looking to make sure that hitch pin hole's lined up. It's going to automatically go in there for you. You can just start tightening it down. I like how easy that is. And if you come back here, you can see the wheels. And I'm going to show you how that works now. So I'm going to loosen this and take this off because this is kind of a heavy bike rack. It's 96 pounds. So when you got it in your garage, you can easily just take it out of the hitch and set it on the ground and then roll it the rest of the way. So that's going to make it easier to move this around and use. So once I get it out of the hitch, I'm going to lean it back and roll it around. So that's a nice addition, especially when it gets as heavy as this one. Well, I think that about does it. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope this helped.